for Success Radio, raising the profile of employee engagement and shining a light on good practice for people who believe there's a better way to work.
Well, hello and welcome to Engage for Success Radio with me, Jo Moffatt. I'm one of the regular hosts of our weekly radio show podcast. And as with everyone who's involved with Engage for Success, we all have day jobs. Mine is that I'm founder of Woodreed, a specialist agency where we help our clients create great places to work, high-performing cultures of engaged employees. So all things employee engagement, employee experience, and of course, internal communication. And before we get into today's show, just a little bit of an intro around Engage for Success. For those who aren't too familiar with who we are a not-for-profit movement. We're the UK's leading voice on the topic of employee engagement. And Engage for Success raises awareness and runs events through area networks around the country and online, and also through topic and sector-specific thought and action groups, are developing research, publishing case studies, and shining a light on great practice, which is very much what this weekly radio show is all about. Visit us at engageforsuccess.org, where you can learn more and sign up for our weekly newsletter. So, as I say, welcome to today's show. It's number 578 in our series, and today's topic is around leading with passion and elevating your team. And we have now started streaming these shows live on YouTube. So if you search Engage for Success Radio podcast, you'll be able to subscribe and follow us there. So welcome to today's guest. Today's guest is Joel Zeff. Joel is an author and speaker, and we're going to be exploring the topic of leading with passion and elevating your team. And Joel's key premise is that we really do need to unleash fun at work. So that's really what we're going to be exploring in a moment. And he's been talking about this topic for many years on national stage and at events, and is a published author of Make the Right Choice, Lead with Passion, Elevate Your Team, and Unleash the Fun at Work. So clearly well qualified to talk about this topic. And welcome to the show, Joel.
Thank you, Jo. I'm excited that I'm number 578.
I know. It's pretty damn good, eh?
Right. And just so you know, when you get to 600, 700, know that I was 578. I was way ahead of the people at 600.
We will make sure you know that. And I also note that I think it's your mother's birthday today, so I hope that you've made sure she's going to be listening.
Yeah, I did. It is my mom's birthday. I don't know if she can I'm going to have to send her the link. I don't know. It's a little complicated, but I did already call her and tell her happy birthday.
Excellent. Good. And after this, I believe you're off to watch your son playing in a baseball match, yeah?
Yes, big day. Big day. Interview, mom's birthday, baseball. It's a lot going on today.
Absolutely. But at the heart of it all is fun and a fun culture. So I'm looking forward to the next half hour or so exploring the topic. So let's kick off, Joel. Tell us. I mean, I know you're a published author. You speak. You've been on TV. You've been in the press. You've done all kinds of things like that. Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get into this stuff? I mean, you obviously you're a humorist and you talk with energy and fun. But why did you start to apply that to the world of work?
I always say it chose me because when I first started, I didn't even know there were speakers, that people went to conferences and talked about these subjects. I had no idea. I just wanted to have fun. I started as a journalist. I was a newspaper reporter. That's my degree.
Okay.
And worked for a couple of newspapers. Found my way into advertising, PR, marketing, worked for a couple agencies. One of my clients was a technology company, and they said, hey, we know you do comedy on the weekends, because at that time I had started doing stand-up and then improv comedy. And they said, we know you do improv on the weekends. We're having this executive retreat. Can you come up, play some of those improv games with us before we start? And that was the beginning. And it wasn't like I just jumped at the chance. I said, okay, well, this could be interesting. And it was all men, all VP level, technology company. So not the greatest audience you would ever put together in one room.
No.
And strangely, they had fun. And more importantly, I had fun. And so that's when the light bulb started flickering. It was just flickering at that point. And just like anything, you start following your passion and you start working at something that you love. It's not a job, it's something that you just truly love, and it's a passion, and people notice and they ask you to speak, or they pass your name on, or they refer you.
Mm.
And one thing led to another, which led to another, and now 2,500 events later, I'm talking to you
On
on
our
your, and
$578th
I'm
show.
number 578.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so you talked with passion. You talked then about passion, and that's the part of the title of your book, isn't it? Lead with passion, elevate your team, and unleash the fun at work. And I want to explore that a little bit with you now. But
Sure.
lead with lead with passion. Is that Does that come first in order to then elevate your team and unleash the fun at work, or does unleashing the fun at work unlock all the rest of it?
That's a really good question. I don't know if I've ever really thought about which comes first.
The chicken or the egg? Which
Yeah,
comes
it's
first,
very.
chicken or the egg, Joel?
I didn't know that we were going to do philosophy today. I just thought we were going to talk about fun at work. Uh, I think passion is our fuel. It's
Hmm.
to be a great leader, to be a great teammate, a great communicator. And where do we have passion though? We have to care about something first. You're not going to have passion unless you care about it. And
Mm.
if you what happens to make sure that you're caring about something is that you have responsibility. You have ownership. And so when I talk to leaders and managers, and we can't expect our team members just to walk through the door because we pay them a salary that they're going to have passion.
Mm.
That's not part of the deal.
Mm.
They're going to do their work and we want them to be successful, but part of the contract is not passion. It'd be great if they had passion, but we have to make sure that they care. And then they're not going to care unless they have ownership and responsibility. So it's up to the leaders, it's up to us to create that foundation for the team that they have ownership and responsibility, because then something magical happens, people care, and then they have passion. And when that passion happens, that's our goal. That's what we want. That's the excitement of success and innovation and great communication and a great teammate. That's what we want.
Mm. Mm. It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, when you were talking about your background and how you got into this, and the light bulb began to flicker, and then it started to burn a little bit more brightly, and that this topic is your passion. It's very hard, isn't it, to manufacture passion where it doesn't exist. I mean, you can't fake it, can you?
No, it's going to be your guiding light. And if you don't have passion for what you do, and sometimes that happens because we start making decisions that are not based on fun or based on, am I passionate about it? That's the end goal, but it's really about, is this fun? When we're young, I have my both of my children, one's 18, one's 22.
Hmm.
95% of their choices are based on, is this fun?
Yeah,
That's their whole life, and that's how we were too when we were that age. But
yeah.
as we get older, we start making choices that aren't based on fun. They're based on career or financial or family or responsibility. And all of a sudden, we wake up one day and we're not passionate about what we do. We're not having fun. We're not energized, and so we're not fulfilled. And so we need to get back to that. And it's not about, okay, this is my goal in life. This is I have an awesome job. I get to speak, I get to travel, people applaud. My first job was at a movie theater cleaning up
Hmm.
people's trash.
Oh,
And
nice, lovely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Until you've cleaned up people's trash,
Yeah.
right? You don't leave trash behind. Once you clean up someone's trash, you don't leave trash behind again in your
Y-
life.
yes.
But what I discovered was, you've got to have fun at work. You've got to be energized. You've got to be happy. And so you've got to figure out, and it's your choice. It is each of our choices to be happy, to be passionate, to be energized. Not sure, there's going to be things that happen that we don't like. There's going to be work that we do that we're not excited about, but it's our choice in how we do it. Are we going to be passionate and energized and helpful and supportive and patient? Or are we going to choose to be frustrated and impatient and negative and whine? one is a better day than the other. It's always our choice.
Mm, okay, yeah, it is. And so, I mean, we've talked a little broadly there about the topic, and as we've been doing that, you've kind of answered this question a little bit, but which is why it's so important to foster a fun work culture. And perhaps a little subsidiary question to that, Joel, is it always appropriate to have fun? Um, can you actually, or is your definition of fun a little bit elastic?
I think
Sorry,
everybody,
that was three questions in one,
yeah,
wasn't it? My apologies. What a
I
shocking
did.
interviewer I am.
I didn't realize I was going to have to work this hard being number 578. I thought we were just going to be just on, you know, just we're on automatic pilot at
Shooting the
578.
breeze. Yeah.
No, we're doing thesis. There's doctorate questions. This is tough.
Absolutely. You didn't think I was going to let you off that lightly, did you?
No, I didn't realize I was working. It's a holiday here in the States. We're not supposed to work today. Um, First, let's talk about fun.
Yeah.
Fun is something different for everyone. What lights you up? What energizes you? What makes you happy and smile? That's your fun. My fun's going to be different than your fun.
Hmm.
And so there's a myth that one, we don't have time for fun. Why wouldn't we have time for fun? Why don't we want to be happy at work no matter what our job is?
Yeah.
We should be happy
Find the
and
fun in it.
supportive. And my fun's going to be different than your fun. Maybe as an accountant, I'm sure, making sure all the numbers add up to the penny. Wow. I'm sure that's fun for them. My
I,
math my
yeah.
my math brain shut down years ago. There's nothing in there. I've got to, if I don't have a calculator, there's nothing in my brain that makes math work or is fun. But for some other people, that's fun. So
Yeah.
what is your fun? So one, that myth is we don't have time for fun.
Mm,
Absolutely, it just even a little bit of a break we have to energize us, to refuel us.
mm,
Or another myth about fun is we're a very serious company. We don't have fun here. We're very serious. We're very serious about our distribution or our manufacturing or sales or our distribution. Whatever we do, we're very serious. But yes, we are serious. But why can't we be passionate? Why can't we have fun and be energized about what we do? Isn't that going to lead to success? Isn't that going to lead to better communication and better leadership and better innovation because we have that fuel and we have that energy?
mm, mm. Yeah. So it's a driver of engagement. It's a driver of motivation wherever you find it, and it's the responsibility of leaders to create that culture.
I think it's both. I think the
Hmm.
leaders have to create the foundation, and that foundation is, I think, opportunity, giving our team the opportunity to take responsibility, to be creative, the opportunity to be a great communicator, the opportunity to build on an idea, and
Hmm.
then give them positive support and appreciation. That's the magic. When we have opportunity and positive support, that's really where the magic happens. So that's the leader's responsibility. But our responsibility as a team member is our choice. We have a choice. And so we can choose to have fun and be passionate and supportive and helpful. We talked a little bit about improv, and that's my visual storyboard when I speak. I use improv, and the UK has a long history of love for
Oh,
improv
absolutely. Absolutely, we do. Yeah.
with whose line is it anyway? And
Yeah. Yeah.
improv started at NYU in the late 30s and early 40s with a woman named Viola Spolin, and she was a teacher, and
Hmm.
so she thought she created improv because it was something about play that brought her students. They reduced their stress, their fears melted away, and so they focused on their authentic self, and it was easier to learn. And wherever you go, you can trace your route back to Viola Spolin if you're in improv, just like the performers of Whose Lines Anyway, the UK version, which
Mm.
is much better than the US version, by the
Yeah.
way.
Oh, is it?
But
Well, that's
yeah,
praise indeed.
yeah, I grew up on it, loved it, and it really, what it did though, what people I don't think give it credit for, is it created the US show because of that success. And then that really made improv a more household name in the US. More troops were formed, more people were doing it, more people were searching it out. When I first started, I had to explain what improv was in the 90s. People, when I would talk about that I'm going to do improv at a corporate event, they had no idea what I was talking about. And now, because of truly Whose Lines It Anyway, the US version, but that doesn't happen without the UK version. And so
Right.
really,
All
I
roads lead back.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and they connect. And so I bring people up to the stage, and what do? I give them opportunity to be creative, to work together as a team. I give them a few minutes of instruction, and then the audience gives them positive support, applause, and then laughter. And when you put that magic together, those two, opportunity and positive support, watch out. It's amazing what happens. It's amazing what people can do. And that's the foundation, I think, for really great teamwork and great success.
Mm, interesting. Because yeah, that's really interesting because I kind of, in my mind, I think of improv as being utterly terrifying, in that somebody is going to make me on my own come
Yeah,
up with something instantly that's going to just wow everybody, and that's like terrifying thought. But it isn't, is it? People build on each other and support each other, and that's really what you're talking about in a business context, aren't you?
absolutely. And it's amazing when I have the audience volunteers and they come up and I give them a little bit of opportunity and a little bit of positive support. And maybe they've thought about improv the same way you did.
Mm,
But all of a sudden, they have this freedom and they're very present and they're in the moment. They're not thinking about making a mistake or thinking about, do I have to say something funny or is this going to be successful? The improv forces them to be present and in the moment. And that's when we're at our true best as leaders, as communicators, because we're focused on what's important. And that's a
mm,
really a special place to be because when we're present in the moment with, let's take it back to work, right? When we're present in the moment with our customers, with our team, with our management, with our partners, what happens? We connect. And that connection is going to lead to a great partnership, great success, great teamwork, innovation. But we have to have that connection.
mm.
And all that happened because we are more present in the moment. And I'm guessing we're having fun because if we're not connecting, if we're not present, if we don't care about each other, are we having fun? I don't think so. I think we are having fun.
Unlikely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's all connected.
Interesting. Interesting, really fascinating. I mean, you talk about Whose Line Is It Anyway in the UK show. We lost one of the great names of that only a few weeks ago, Tony Slattery,
Yes, I saw that.
which was, he was just absolutely I mean, one of many, but that was a key thing for him, wasn't it? So that was very sad news. So I know, just you talk, Joel, about ta-da. What do we mean by that?
So everybody knows ta-da, right? When the magician finishes his
Yeah,
act, he says ta-da,
yeah,
right? It's a flourish, it's an end, and it's just part of that culture of we're celebrating. And when my kids were younger, everything in their life was a ta-da, and I think everybody does that, not just me, but when our kids are younger. Everything's a ta-da. We celebrate. They eat their whole lunch. We celebrate. They take
yeah,
their first steps. We celebrate. They go to the bathroom by themselves for the first time. Big ta-da,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so I do that with my groups because I don't think we celebrate enough. And we talk about fun. I think part of the ingredients of fun is celebration and appreciation. We do great things every single day, but we don't celebrate them. We just think, well, that's our regular day. This is what we're supposed to do. This is what we're paid for, but
Mm,
we don't celebrate. Maybe once a year we get together, we give out some pointy awards, we have chicken, and we congratulate everybody, and that's it.
yeah,
We need to do more. We need to, because what happens when we celebrate? We that's our fuel. We're passionate, we're energized, we're fulfilled. And so we have to celebrate more. And when I do that ta-da, in my events, I get everybody to stand up on the count through. You all stand up and do a ta-da. And sure, there's some people that are kind of looking around like, what's going on? But we do it a couple times, and you see everybody join in because they want to celebrate, and they deserve that celebration. And so we have these moments every day. And I encourage the people when I speak to my audience, I encourage the people that are listening to this show, is that find that moment today to celebrate and give yourself a round of applause. Give yourselves a ta-da. Whatever your word is, however you want to celebrate, because that excitement fuels us, and that fuel is what we need for passion and success.
Yeah. So, Joel, tell me, do you think, though, a lot of team leaders, people managers, and senior leaders in our companies are in the school of thought, which is, well, why should I do a ta-da when they're just doing their day job? That's what they're paid for. That's what I pay them to come in and do day in, day out. Why should I celebrate that? Do you have to unlearn some of those attitudes, do you think?
I think so, because there's a lot of competition for great employees. And
Yes.
if they're not going to be happy, if they're not fulfilled, they're going to walk out the door and find another job, especially this current generation and even the generation before. They're not waiting. The idea that I'm going to go work someplace for 10 years, 5 years is ridiculous,
Mm.
because if they're not if they're not happy, if they're not being fulfilled, they're out the door. They don't care, right? And so you're in competition with these great team members. And if you want them to be successful, if you want people to create that energy and that's going to lead to your success, then why not give them opportunity? Why not give them that positive support? What do you as a manager and a leader get back in return? You get a passionate, energized team member that's going to help you reach your goals. It makes sense.
Mm.
Now, are there bad managers that aren't going to celebrate? Absolutely. And it's, I think, what people need to realize, there's no matter what the economy is, and I've been speaking, I say 1997 is when
Mm-hmm.
I started. I did a few things before that. How many recessions? I don't know. How many?
Sadly, there's been one or two, have there not? Yes. Absolutely. Hello? You've gone into mute, Joel.
What happened?
I don't know. It muted you for some reason, or you muted you. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Somebody did not want to hear what I had to say.
I know. I
This
know.
was what, yeah, I was
You
about to just throw down some big, huge bits of news.
You've been cancelled, mate. You've been
Yes.
cancelled. No,
Yeah, they don't want to hear it.
we were talking about downturns and recessions and all the rest of it since you started in 1998, and there's been a good few. What was the first one? The dot-com bubble burst, didn't it? And it's been kind of on a bit of a roller coaster ever since. It's gone again.
Well, I think I think my ear keeps pressing the mute button.
I think you do. Come on, come back.
I'm
Or
back.
maybe is this all part of your show though, Joel? I'm beginning to wonder.
It is. It is. It is. It's the excitement of the mute button. Who is this guy from the States with the mute button that doesn't know what he's doing? Can we just get to show 579 already?
This is the joy of going out live, of course. You do realise that, don't you?
Right. Right.
So anyway, let's try again. Third time lucky. Lucky. You were telling me recessions.
Yes. So every client was still hiring. Every client was still looking for a great team member. And so I think you have more choice today. You have more opportunity today. You do not have to stay for a leader, a manager that's not giving you opportunity, that's not giving you positive support, because you're not fulfilled. You're not happy. And, I always say, ask yourself, what do you want that's going to fulfill you and reward you from your job? And you're going to be surprised by the answer. It's not more money, right? We all want more money. That's a given. But that happiness only lasts to the next paycheck. We're right back where we started. We're not fulfilled. So what is it? Do we want more training? Do we want a different role, a different responsibility? Do we want the opportunity to go to a conference? What is that opportunity? And then when you ask your manager and say, hey, this is what I need here to be happy, I think you're going to be surprised how easy it is for them to give you that opportunity, Because again, what do they get back in return? They get a passionate, energized team member that's going to help them reach their goals. And if they don't give you that opportunity, that's a big clue. You're
Mm.
in the wrong place and you
Yeah.
don't deserve this. But I promise you, someone down the road, no matter what the economy is like, wants a passionate, energized team member like yourself that wants opportunity and they want to give it to you.
Yeah, yeah. So we've been listening to you talking, and we're buying what you're saying, and I'm thinking, yeah, okay, I understand that this is important. Okay, I'm going to celebrate my people more.
Yeah.
I might even do a little bit of improv with them, and try and get them to collaborate and problem solve together, but have some fun doing it. What other tips have you got for our listeners? In we've got 3 or 4 minutes left. What other things can people who are listening, who kind of think, yeah, actually maybe we ought to just up the ante a little bit on this fun thing. How can they do it?
One, I always like to say every day you go home from work, think about all the people that you had contact with, your partners, your team members, your customers, your clients. Did you give them positive support? We're going to go through every person in the day. And then if
Hmm.
you didn't, then tomorrow, let's start giving out that appreciation. Let's start
Okay.
giving them a call, text, email, see them in the hall and say thank you and I appreciate you. And when you send it out there, it's going to come back tenfold, a hundredfold. That's number one. Number two is I want everybody listening to ask this question. How do I help the people around me be successful? That's an easy question. And if you love improv and you wonder how does improv work? What's happening is every person on stage is asking that question. How do I help the people around me be successful? Nobody is saying, how can I be the funniest? How can I be the star? I want to make sure everybody is watching me. No, the thought is, how do I make everybody else look great? And so the challenge for your listeners is to ask that question, answer it. They know the answer. They're smart. They know what everybody needs to be successful. Now, the hard part is to act on it, to actually do it. And when
Hmm.
you do, it's going to be rewarding. It's just going to be, there's going to be an energy. And it's going to, again, come back to you tenfold, a hundredfold. That's number. So, number one is we're going to think about the people as we go home and we're going to give them positive support the next day. Number
Yep.
two is to ask the question, how do I help the people around me be successful? And
Hmm.
number three is I want the listeners to really think about how they can embrace change more, to be more open and flexible to change. And when that happens, there's a freedom because when we're prepared for change, it sets our tone and our attitude and our energy. We still deal with tough situations, but we're going to do it at our best because we're embracing change.
Excellent, lovely, thank you. And that was the power of three, which is one of my favorite things as well. So always do things in threes. Excellent. I think we're pretty much to the end of the show now, Joel. So obviously it's been a bit of a whistle stop romp through your approach to this, and 25 years of thinking, all summed up in your book, Make the Right Choice, Lead with Passion, Elevate Your Team, and Unleash the Fun at Work. So there's much more on a similar vein in there. All that really remains is for me to say thank you, Joel Zeff, for joining us today and helping us to explore the topic. I've had fun. I hope you've had fun, Joel.
I've had a great time. Thank you, Joe. And
Excellent.
my website is just my name, joelzeff.com. So I'd love for your listeners to connect. LinkedIn is a great way to connect as well.
Lovely.
And I know you're posting the interview. And I'll tell you what, for one of your listeners, I'm going to, the best comment, if somebody comments wherever this is posted, I'm going to find the best comment and I would love to email a free audiobook, a free download for the audiobook. And
Lovely.
the book is also available on Amazon UK as well for Audible and hard copy, and Kindle will be out later this year.
Excellent. Lovely. Well, that's a lovely offer. Thank you very much, Joel. So there's a challenge to our listeners to do that and get themselves a free copy. So thank you for that. So thank you, Joel. Thank you for listening to Engage for Success Radio. Don't forget you can download or stream any of the great shows from our archive at any time. Just visit engageforsuccess.org. You can also get in touch with the movement there as well. Thank you very much for listening and good night.
Engage for Success Radio, raising the profile of employee engagement and shining a light on good practice for people who believe there's a better way to work.